What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Boardroom Podcast, where we help you stay calm, change lives, and have business on your terms. Now, what we're going to be diving into today is just like the system that we put in place to start helping us hire and screen for really good quality candidate. Because as you're growing and scaling your business, people are really the most important asset any business can have, and people are the X factor. Because technology is created by people, right? So technology isn't really like the X factor, but it is key that you utilize technology effectively and that you have good tech inside of your company, but you got to have really, really good people on your team, right? And we're transitioning into this phase where we're starting to not just grow rapidly, but we're starting to have to scale our team and the people that we have on the team to support the growth that we want to drive for 2025. And building a championship team is really, really important to do. Important to have, right? And the culture of the team is important. And how you're finding talent is important. How you're screening talent is important. And we just made like 3 hires in the last 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Right. And the speed at which you move is also really important. Like finding good talent, like you want to be able to make offers and get them onto the team and start to get them plugged in and help them wrap their arms around what you guys are doing. And processes are really important to do that. And so up until recently, we didn't really have a good process for screening and hiring people. Right. And it's kind of like ad hoc. And so we're like, all right, we need to bring on a couple personnel for our client success team. And in order for us to be able to get to that next level, we need to unblock and move people around and put you into a different seat. And then I need to be unblocked to be able to like focus on higher level things, strategic relationships, negotiating larger contracts and working with the product and the engineering team, making sure like the core of what we're doing, like my main focus has to be like product and engineering. Like product has to be world-class and exceptional. And wouldn't you know, we use AI to to build out the hiring process at breakneck speed and find some really good candidates. All right. So Tiggs, you got to interview a few candidates. And I want to kind of let you talk about what that was like and being able to use AI to kind of help streamline that process.
Yeah.
Right.
So obviously we put a job listing out on Indeed, right? And we got a bunch of people, right? And then we're like, holy crap, dude, this is going to take us forever to look at each individual resume. I'm like, man, we got to come up with something. Like, dude, I'm going to be here all day for days trying to find something, right? So little did you know, obviously we're in the AI space. Well, let's use AI, right? So Iggy created a custom GPT, a hiring custom GPT, and we fed it what we're looking for this role, right? What are the top main things that we're looking for? Right. We're looking for commitment. We're looking for skill. We're looking for leadership. It was just a bunch of stuff that we wanted. And we wanted AI to help us find all those people. Right. So we built this custom GPT, our own hiring custom GPT for this particular role. Right. It's not just like for any role. It's for this particular role. Right. It's very specific. It's not just some watered down version. Just find me someone to hire, right? Very, very specific, very detailed oriented, and what exactly we're looking for. We're not only looking for, are they right for the role in terms of skill and how to do the role, but also the values, and do they meet our core values for our business, right? We wanted both things happening at the same time. So what we did is we grabbed a crap load of resumes and we loaded up. Right? It helped us streamline this process as much as possible. And it spit out grades based on each individual candidate. And we only wanted cream of the crop, right? If you're like a 1 out of 5, like, dude, just don't even bother wasting my time.
It helped us streamline it, even figure out who do we need to even focus our time and attention on in terms of like interview, because the time is limited, right? And so we don't have all the time in the world, and we don't have a chief of staff who's singular job is just interviewing a bunch of candidates, working with the team, and building 4R documents. So for me, I'm like, I sat down. I probably have been thinking about bringing on new candidates for a while now. And so I really sat down and thought through, okay, what type of person is going to really excel at this role? What are the skills that they need to have? What's the experience level that they need to have? What kind of mindset do they need to have? And then like, what are the core values that they need to have that are going to fit well into the people that we need? And then I was like, well, what also do we need these people to do that I don't really know that I need them to do? Right. So I was having that convo with GPT. I prompted it to be like, it's someone with 10 years of experience building out tech-enabled software teams and things like that. And so we went back and forth, and I have a grading system that I was already grading the team on, and then I would ultimately use to determine who's going to be a good fit for the team long term. And it totally kind of created our champion DNA, right? And this is like, if somebody's going to be a good fit for our team, right, what kind of DNA do they need to have? Like, what is their personality makeup? I don't really care for personality tests or anything like that. So I'm like, I know what I'm looking for. And if in my experience, if we get the right people with the kind of like the right dispositions and things like that, even if they're a little different in personality or their strengths are a little different, so long as they have this core kind of like DNA makeup, they typically end up being a good fit, right? So the first one that I identify was commitment. They need to be somebody who's committed. I don't want to teach commitment to anybody, right? If you're not somebody who is just, when you do something, like you go all out, like you are all in, I'm like, I'm not going to try and teach you that because I just don't have enough time. It's a waste of my time. Second one is caring. All right. You got to care about the work that you do. You got to care about the people that you do that work for, and you got to care about the people that you do that work with. So there's like 3 levels to that caring. Like, you care about the work that you do, you care about the people that you do it for, and you care about the people that you do it with. All right. So that's really, really important because I want people who are passionate about the work that they do, but then also they're looking out for their team. They're looking out for the company, and they're looking out for the customers and clients that we work with. Number 3 is competence, right? They need to have some type of competence. And for me, I'm like, if I bring this person on, are they increasing the IQ of the average IQ of the team, or are they lowering the average IQ? If they're lowering the average IQ, I did a bad job bringing them on. If they're like dumb, I'm sorry. Like, if you're offended by that statement, like if they're dumb and low IQ, like they shouldn't be on our team. All right. So competence is the only one I'm willing to teach, but I'm only willing to teach competence if they're already intelligent, right? I don't want to have to teach you to be intelligent. I got my kids that I'm teaching to be intelligent. Like like I'm already spending my bandwidth trying to teach them and invest into their development. I don't want to have to do that with a grown ass man or a grown ass woman, you know. But competence for the job, I'm willing to help you be as competent for the job as possible and set you up for success. And then number 4 is obsession. Obsession is really important to me because obsession is like, if you're obsessive and you're just kind of like curious about something, and that is going to drive you to want to work more than you need to just because you can't help it, right? Somebody can be committed but not obsessive, right? If you're committed to a team, you show up to practice on time, you run hard, like you do the work that's required.
Correct. And it's work that we required, but it's the minimum of that work, right? Hey, you have to be here for 5 hours and that's it.
Yeah, it's like you just do the work that's required, and it's like you're not going to be the person that's staying hours afterwards. Like, you don't have to be that. Like, you can be committed, like 100% committed to a team, but you're 100% committed at the time that you're required to be 100% committed, right? It doesn't go beyond that because you're not obsessed, right?
Right. And that's okay for some positions, but for this particular position, you kind of have to go, not only be committed, but you have to be obsessed. You have to go above and beyond that what your normal, hey, I clock in, I clock out. That's, yeah, great. Maybe that worked for another position we might have, but for this one, that is one that you have to hit that criteria.
Yeah, you got to be obsessive. If you're not obsessive, it's not going to work. And really, they're in a damn role on our team that does not require you to be obsessive.
That's pretty,
Like, it's
I'm
really
thinking
like,
more like you go to a job 8 to 5.
yeah, I
Those
mean,
ones,
if
they're
you're
there.
flipping burgers at, McDonald's, like, you could be obsessive about it, but I'm like, to each their own. Everyone has their own unique quirks. But the role on our team, like every single role at the stage of business that we're in right now, needs that. And I think we're probably going to keep that for the foreseeable future, So obsessiveness is really, really important. I was like, okay, these are the things. I was analyzing our current team. Like everyone on our team, I went through them. Like, if I was looking at them again, would I rehire this person? Right. And anyone that I would have know about is off the team. Anyone that we had questions about, we confronted them, kicked them in the nuts, and they kicked it into high gear and have completely turned shit around. So that became like the grading system that I trained this custom GPT on, right? I wanted it to look at the candidates based on look at their resume, based on the criteria and the skill sets that we needed, right? And then I wanted it to grade their interview based on this championship DNA matrix or championship DNA codex that I developed and trained it on. Right. So when it was looking at the resumes, it was sorting out based on like the job requirements, based on their technical skills, based on what we need. It gave us a list of candidates based on their resume that I thought we should interview and spend our focused time on, like actually getting to know. Right. And then after those interviews, like when you had your interviews with those candidates, then we took the transcripts to those interviews, gave it back to this custom GPT and said, hey, based on our championship DNA, our championship codex, how would you rate these candidates? Right. And then it sorted everything out and gave us a list of who our top candidates were. And the ones out of the top 5, we're able to hire 2 of them and bring them on board.
Right. So they went through basically a 3-step approval before they even got to you, right? We went through the first approval of, do they even make this up? Are they graded here? Okay, great. Now they have to get on an interview with me. So not only do you ask for my feedback, but then we ask, all right, well, I want, based on the custom GPT that was built, I'm going to feed my transcript, right? But you're still taking feedback from me. What do you think? Well, based off this is what was graded. And then you ask, well, what do you think? I go, honestly, yeah, I really like them. They hit all the criteria. It's definitely worth a second shot. So they had to go through technically 3 approvals, right? And then they got to you. And then after that, you go, yo, no, right? I don't think so. So they might have had the championship, DNA, but it's not like we relied on fully like, oh, AI, yeah, this was it. Yeah,
We'll have to figure out like what's going to work for our team. And we have some really baller candidates that would have been a great fit for any other team. But the nuance of our team, we're thinking through, okay, how does our team kind of like work, the personalities of the people on our team and just kind of things like that. And we're like, there were some question marks with a few candidates where commitment was like the main thing, right? That's based on like things that they said and certain things, like that was like a flag. And then funny enough, that candidate kind of like ruled themselves out.
and it brought up some certain things too, right? Because you even told me, you goes, man, I think this person's a baller. I think they're just a little bit too corporate for us, right? Because we're really like laid back here. We're real chill. And I don't know if they're really going to jive with that whole corporate. Yes, at some point, do we have to be a little bit more professional, right? Corporate-ish? Yeah, at some point. But right now, that's not how we jive, right? And then you even said, I think this person's a little bit too corporate. But another thing you had about that person, you were kind of iffy about, and lo and behold, that person just ended up not coming on because those are the two things that we thought about, right? So what we're saying here is don't fully rely on AI. You still got to have a little bit of human out of it to determine. Like you just don't put an AI. Hey, dude, we're gonna hire this person. Like it hit all the boxes. Like no, we're trying to speed it up, right? I don't want to spend a whole month trying to find one person because I didn't want to use the AI, right? We use the AI where we can literally cut the time in half to get me my candidate. That's what we're doing here.
That makes sense. And that's kind of like ultimately for us, like if you're not using AI inside of your company, like get with the damn times. Like you need it's not one of those things that you can just bury your head underneath the sand and just like think it's a fad that's eventually going to go. It's not going away. It's getting better and it's improving at a rapid pace on like anything we've ever seen. So you need to start using it inside of your business in every single way, find opportunities to utilize it. Like it built out our entire screening process. It helped professionalize our grading system. It helped professionalize our job requirement. It helped me put together our culture index for our team, the daily habits for them, the welcome, offer letter, everything top to bottom. And this is like, these are things that we did not have in place. And I was like, before I would have to spend a few $1,000s with a lawyer to kind of get these things really buttoned up. I was able to do it with a custom GPT that I built over the weekend and have it all done, very professional, ready to go, like that.
We literally built out a whole hiring front to back process and hired 2 people in 2 weeks.
Yep.
You try to do this,
3
thing would
people
have took you months. 3 people, yeah, 3 people. This would have took you months.
Yep.
Right? But the fact that we used all this, like you have to start using it, but you have to use it in a good way, right? Whatever you feed if it's Claude or if it's Gronk or if it's ChatGPT, whatever you feed it, it's gonna push it back the way you fed it. So if you feed it shit and you not really detailed and you go really in depth, dude, you're gonna get crap back. It's just like anything else. So the amount of work that had to go into in building it, right? You spend the weekend over it. Hey, it's done. I'm done for it. Now it knows exactly what I'm looking for. And that's like in anything you use AI. It's not just for the hiring process. It's for content. It's for marketing material. It's for whatever. You have to be detailed what you're giving when you're prompting your particular AI system that you're trying to get into. You have to be very detailed or it's not going to come out very good.
Exactly. And the cool thing is, one of the candidates that was like, so we had a few candidates and only one of them really worked out of the initial batch of candidates. And then we put another batch of candidates. And then one of the later entries actually ended up based on this matrix became our number one. Right. And so the initial person that we brought on was like number 2. Right. And there was somebody else ahead of them that ended up taking another offer. And then this late entry ended up becoming number 1. So out of like the batches that we ended up bringing on, we ended up bringing like the top 3 out of all, like there was like 200 and some odd candidates that we got from Indeed. But it's so cool, like how fast you can do things with AI. Like it's just, you guys, if you're listening to this, you got to be using AI inside of your business. It's a non-negotiable. The speed in which you can iterate, the speed in which you can just kind of like go from need to execution, it's absolutely unheard of. So, and that was just a recent example of like how we're able to do it. And then I use it to essentially, I'm building a hiring GPT for each department and each role that we need, each team, right? So our CX team now has like a culture index. It now has like the 4R documents. It now has like all the things that I'm going back and systematically professionalizing all the different roles and responsibilities within the team and habits and missions and things like that. And it's so cool to see happen because this is something I've been wanting to do for a while. And I was like, I just don't want to put in the time to get that done. And
But we
now,
were forced. Like we were
yep,
literally forced for these two positions. Like, dude, it's either we do it now or we're kind of like effed, right? Like we kind of we would literally have to like stop people coming in to Charlie, right?
yeah,
We would
we'll have to
like
stop growth.
there's no capacity. We can't do anymore. You know what
Yep.
I mean? So we were
So
forced to do it, which is good. Now that it's done, right? It's kind of like you spend time, you build it once, maybe a little refine tweaks along the way if you need to, but other than that,
yeah,
you got
you know
you
me,
got your own.
I love work where I only have to do it once. I love work
Oh
that
yeah,
gives me leverage. That's why I love what we're building with Charlie. It gives us leverage and it gives our users leverage. You train it once, you could really configure it once to your liking, and then it's just like deploy and forget, deploy and forget, deploy and forget. You don't have to do that work over again. Right. And with these AI models, like if you do them right, like you're really doing the work once and then you just make little iterations there. And it's still fun to watch, and it's cool to see the team come together. And I'm excited to see where the team goes in like a year's time. Like there's a lot of cool things coming down the pipe. But this is where the real work begins. Personnel management, team management, making sure as we're growing and as we are starting to scale our team, how do we keep the chemistry with the team at a larger scale, right? So how do we keep that chemistry that we have with the core team? How do we add to that and not compromise the quality of how the team is working together? You know, so it's just cool. I'm excited, but still early. Maybe we'll do a progress update on the new hires in a couple months.
couple weeks, yeah, or a couple months, yeah. I would say so far the third one just is starting Monday, but out of the other two, one for sure is like blew it out the water, right? Literally the first 2 days, he started taking on. He's like going back and forth, and he's talking to clients already. Like, didn't you just start like 48 hours ago? Like, you already know what to do. He
That
goes,
dude hit the ground running. So just
hit the
cool to it's
right.
been cool to see, and this is where your ability to bring on quality people and maintain quality talent is what's going to make or break your business, right? As you're growing and scaling, and I want to turn this into a legit enterprise, and that is going to be the biggest constraint. All right. Um, the quality of processes that you have, the quality of people that you can bring on, and the quality of how you develop them and maintain that talent. Those talents are going to be essential. And then having a big enough vision to where like they're able to come in and actually like accomplish their goals as they're helping the company accomplish its greater goals. That's it. Hopefully for those guys who are tuning in, hopefully you like this kind of format where it's not super like scripted or it's just like, this is what we're going through. This is what we're doing inside of our business. This is how we're building Charlie and the product and the team, and really building something that's going to change a lot of lives, and it's already changing a lot of lives. And this is just our way of documenting experiences and challenges that we're going through and making it known so that you guys can benefit from it. If you like it, go ahead and share it with somebody who may benefit from it. And if you're not subscribed to the podcast or to the channel, what are you doing? Subscribe and join the family. Alrighty. Until next time, crew, stay calm, change lives, and have business on your terms. Peace.